You raised the shield. You built the foundation, the walls, the roof. And still, 70% of family wealth is gone by the second generation. Not because the market failed, because the vault was never sealed. That is the quiet failure no balance sheet shows. You can earn it, insure it, invest it, and shelter it, and still watch it leak through probate, taxes, titling traps, and a generation that was never prepared to receive it. Tonight, we seal the vault. The structure that decides whether what you built survives you and reaches the people you love without being hollowed out first. The vault goes last for a reason. You do not lock a door on an empty room. Cash was the foundation. Insurance was the walls. Investing was the roof. Sheltering was the shield. The vault is the seal, the legal and human system that moves wealth intact from one life to the next. Skip it, and every prior structure is temporary. Without that seal, your estate walks a gauntlet called probate. Probate is the court process that proves a will, pays debts, and transfers what is left. It is public. It is slow. On a typical estate, it often runs 6 to 18 months, and all-in costs commonly land between 3 and 8% of the estate. On a $500,000 estate, 5% is $25,000, money that leaves the family for fees and friction, not for heirs. Scale the estate up, and the bleed scales with it. And a will alone does not dodge that gauntlet. A will is instructions to the probate court. Useful. Necessary. Not a bypass. What does bypass probate? Assets that never enter the probate estate at all. A revocable living trust you actually fund during life. Beneficiary designations on retirement accounts and life insurance. Transfer on death and payable on death registrations on brokerage and bank accounts. And in many cases, joint tenancy with right of survivorship. Those paths move by contract and title, not by a judge's calendar. A pour-over will still matters as a safety net. It catches what you forgot and pours it into the trust, though that leftover piece may still touch probate. Here is the override most families miss. Beneficiary designations and TOD and POD registrations beat the will. If your will says everything goes to your spouse, but your old 401k still names an ex-partner from a decade ago, the plan document wins. The will never sees that account. Review every designation the way you review a password, on a schedule, after every marriage, divorce, birth, death, or new account. Titling is the other silent trap. Joint tenancy with right of survivorship can be clean for a spouse, and a disaster with one adult child if you meant equal shares among siblings. The surviving joint owner takes the whole asset by law. Tenancy in common keeps each owner's share in their own estate, which may be what you want in a second marriage or blended family. Same house, opposite outcomes. The deed decides. Now the map for 2026. Under current federal law, after the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, the basic exclusion amount for estate and gift tax is $15 million per person, $30 million for a married couple who use portability. Amounts above that still face a top federal rate of 40%. $1 million over the line is about $400,000 in federal estate tax. Portability is not automatic. The surviving spouse generally needs a timely estate tax return to capture the deceased spouse's unused exclusion, the DSUE. Miss the filing, lose the second coupon. That lifetime number is not the only tool. Each year, you can give $19,000 per recipient under the annual gift exclusion, $38,000 from a married couple to the same person, without touching the lifetime exemption at all. A couple with 3 children can move $114,000 a year this way. Direct payments of tuition to a school and medical bills to a provider sit outside the gift tax entirely when structured correctly. College savers get one more lever. A 529 plan can be superfunded, up to 5 years of annual exclusions in a single contribution, elected on a gift tax return. That is $95,000 from one person, or $190,000 from a couple, per beneficiary in 2026, with no extra annual gifts to that same person that would break the 5-year spread. At death, basis steps up. Appreciated assets your heirs inherit generally take a new cost basis equal to fair market value on the date of death. That can erase a lifetime of unrealized capital gains for the next owner. In community property states, both halves of community property can receive that step-up at the first death, a double step-up many couples never plan around. Retirement accounts play by different rules. Under the Secure Act, most non-spouse beneficiaries must empty an inherited IRA or Roth within 10 years. The stretch over a lifetime is largely gone. That compresses tax into a decade. Roth accounts still offer tax-free growth and withdrawals inside that window when the 5-year rules are met, which is why Roth conversions during life can be a transfer tool, not just a retirement tool. Life insurance can fund the vault or inflate the estate. An irrevocable life insurance trust, an ILIT, is designed so the death benefit is owned outside your estate, available as liquidity for taxes and equalization without adding to the taxable pile. Done wrong, the same policy sits in your name, and every dollar may count. And liquidity is the trap that breaks well-built estates on paper. House rich, cash poor. An $800,000 home and $40,000 in the bank looks solvent until fees, taxes, and equalizing bequests come due in cash. The vault needs dry powder, insurance proceeds outside the estate, cash reserves, or assets that can settle without a fire sale. 5 mistakes open the vault from the inside. 1. Believing a will is a plan. A will without funded non-probate paths is a ticket to probate, not an exit from it. 2. Stale beneficiaries. Marriage, divorce, a new child, a dead contingent, any of these can reroute 6 figures overnight. 3. Titling by convenience. Adding one child to the deed so it is easier can disinherit the others, trigger gift issues, and hand a creditor a door. 4. Ignoring state estate or inheritance tax. The federal 15 million line does not erase a state tax that starts far lower. Your map needs both layers. 5. Silence. The Williams Group's long study of thousands of families is often summarized this way. Roughly 70% of family wealth is gone by generation 2, and 90% by generation 3. The usual cause is not a bad market. It is broken communication and unprepared heirs. A sealed vault with no key for the next generation is still a failure. Here is the Vault Seal framework. 5 steps. Step 1. Inventory. Every account, deed, policy, entity, and digital asset. Who owns it, how it is titled, who is named. Step 2. Align. Make beneficiary designations, TOD and POD registrations, and trust funding match the plan, not the opposite of the will. Step 3. Structure. Decide will plus trust architecture with a qualified estate attorney. Fund the revocable trust. Add a pour-over will as a safety net. Consider an ILIT if insurance liquidity belongs outside the estate. Step 4. Liquidity. Stress test cash needs at death. Taxes, fees, equalization, debt. Close the gap before the gap closes the estate. Step 5. Prepare the heirs. Hold the inheritance readiness conversation. Roles, values, location of documents, and the why behind the plan. Not only the what. That is the seal. Inventory, align, structure, liquidity, prepare. Your Vault Seal test has one action. This week, pull every beneficiary designation and TOD or POD form you can find. Retirement, life insurance, bank, and brokerage. Check the names against the plan you actually want. Fix one mismatch. Update one stale name. That single hour often protects more money than a year of market timing. If this series is building your structure, subscribe so you do not miss the next piece. Share it with the person who will one day hold your keys. A spouse, a partner, or an adult child who needs the map, not a surprise. This is educational, not legal or tax advice. State rules differ. A qualified estate attorney and tax professional turn this framework into documents that fit your life. Because in the next structure, we set the keystone, the habits and governance that hold every structure you have built together for good.